things were not easy. My mindset, but also having my spiritual awakening. I had to lean on my inner self, and I had to have a new connection with God, spirit, universe, like however you label it. And because I was able to lean into spirituality, that's how I was able to like refocus and just be like, tell myself like it's going to be okay.
What is some of the results or some of the things you're looking for when you are working with a client? Sometimes it doesn't happen right overnight, but let's say someone who either was kind of new to this space, what's some of the outcomes that you're looking for to accomplish with someone?
I mean, if they're a brand new content creator, kind of like yourself, right? You didn't have the channels yet. And I admire what you've done because you just got after it. I mean, you just, you started filming and haven't stopped. And that's the only thing I could ever ask from a client, right? Because if you don't film, then there's nothing we can do.
Welcome to another edition of Be Great Podcast, where we're always speaking to great people who have done amazing things. And today I have a special guest today. This is someone who has helped me to look great on camera. He's a good friend, a mentor, as well as a colleague that I have a privilege of working alongside with. And so today I have a guest. Her name is Marissa Romero. How you doing today?
Great, Stephen. It's an honor to be here on the podcast. And we are actually at the podcast summit. And I just want to say, like, as we get into this episode, like, thanks for encouraging me to be here. Like, I'm so grateful for you in encouraging me to get out of my shell and be here in this moment recording a podcast with you. It's an honor to be on your podcast.
Well, I'm so pleased and elated also because you have definitely been one, from my eyes, who set a high standard of excellence in how you conduct business and also just the level of quality of what the work you do. And so I just want to thank you again. If you can, just introduce yourself to the people for those who don't know who Marissa Romero is.
Okay. Yeah. I am Marissa. I'm a mom of one. I'm a wife, and I'm a YouTube business coach. And so I have a company called Subscribers to Sales, and we help business owners and experts grow and scale YouTube by leveraging strategy, systems, and team. So in a nutshell, that's what I'm about.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let me just kind of get the backstory a little bit of how even you got into this space, because I want people to understand that, you have some professionalism, you have some things of value to add to what you do. So if you can, give me your backstory. What's a little bit about Marissa before you even came into this space?
Yeah, even before this. So I was a civil engineer for 7 years. And I was all in, like, when I say all in, like, I got my master's, and I had advanced pretty well in my career. Like, I worked for the Department of Transportation, and things were great. Things were comfortable. I had benefits. And, one year I decided, like, that I could be an entrepreneur. Like, I never knew entrepreneurship was for me until I was, like, maybe 27 years old. And so in 2017, I took the leap of faith for my career, and I just went all in the other way. And people thought I was absolutely insane. I mean, I had just got my master's, making a great salary, benefits, and they're just like, "You're doing what? That's the most dumbest thing ever." And so that's how my entrepreneur journey started. I started actually dabbling in e-commerce first for like the first year and a half ish, and I left that. So I didn't like that model at all. So just kind of bridging to how YouTube got started when I, at the point where I was doing e-com, another crazy thing I did was I was living in Arizona, and one day I decided, like, I wanted to be a digital nomad because I'm like, I'm doing the laptop lifestyle now. I don't need to be here. And so I got inspired to move to Thailand. So I literally sold everything I had. I downgraded from a 3-bedroom home to a suitcase and a backpack, and booked a one-way to Thailand. So it's kind of crazy, but at that point as well, I got myself into trouble. I was investing in a whole bunch of stuff, spending money, and just had the when you're It's at the tip of my tongue. When you're a fresh entrepreneur, you're investing in everything. The shiny object syndrome. There you go. And so when I was in Thailand, I had a 6-figure bill, and I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do? So it was one of those situations where YouTube had to work because I did not have a source of income. So, and that's kind of, the how it really got first started, me on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. So now that you've been in space, how long have you been in the space now?
Since 2018, I started my channel in April 2018. So I've been creating content and being a YouTuber since then.
Okay.
And it's evolved from me having courses where I don't want to say but where I've created the course step by step on how to grow and monetize a channel, to now for a little over a year, we've been doing high level coaching and done for you implementation, where we like actually teach you, do it with you, and do it for you, right? Because what I realize is when you teach someone YouTube through a course, they evaluate it so different, and it was like we can't get it right for them unless we do it for them, and that's where the subscribers to sales like agency and coaching programs were born.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I definitely understand, and I thank you for taking the time to create something where you do a little bit more than just give them the game. You actually walk them through the game. But I want you to kind of share your reasoning of why you chose to do what you do, as far as how you're able to go so much more in detail to walk alongside with the person versus just saying, here, this is the answer, and now go ahead and do what you got to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, second story was I got inspired by becoming a new mom, right? So when I found out I was pregnant in September 2021, I actually was shocked. Like, it was unplanned, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't really have plans on being a mom, but my baby boy came into my life, and so while I was pregnant, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out like how to leave my business. I had no other choice. I had to take a maternity leave. Like, I had to feed my son and be there with him in his first few months of life. So that's where I developed, or not developed, but that's where I saw the huge demand for entrepreneurs to understand systems and have a team, right? And know the importance of team support. Because that's how you're able to take yourself out of the business operations in the day-to-day, so that if you have a paternity, maternity leave, want to take a sabbatical, you have the freedom to do that without it all collapsing, right? So that's long story short, I took the maternity leave for 3 months, and when I came back, I was like, okay, what happened? And I was so pleased to see that the business still profited 30% each month that I was gone. I was like, what? Wow. Like, I was so happy. And I was like, this is something that I feel like I need to teach. Like, this is what the next step in my career in helping entrepreneurs to do.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're saying what you're saying, because I just recently read a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X. And you're speaking on that you done less, but you got more results. Could you kind of help to paint that picture of what that could be, reasoning being of how that works in your situation, that not being busy versus being fruitful give you opportunity to really grow your business? Now, I kind of give you the backstory of something I've learned, was that knowing that I got to stay in my lane will help me to get more done versus me being juggling too many balls. But I just want to hear a little bit more in from your perspective of what it is doing less, how it helped you to get more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great question, because before, like pretty much probably 100% of people watching this can relate to the narrative that you have to be working hard, a minimum 8 hours a week, or more, right? Because there was a time where I felt guilty if I wasn't working all day, every day, plus weekends. I thought, like, I need to be working just as much as my team. I thought that things would collapse if I wasn't going all the time and doing everything. But what I realized when I came back from maternity leave, I was like not even working a lot. I was probably working 10 hours a week. But when I went to work, I was so focused. I got so much done in 2 to 3 hours per day. And what I realized is the law. What's that law called? Not Parkinson's law, but basically, the more time you give yourself to do something, the more time you're going to take to get something done. So when you focus and you're like, look, I only have 60 minutes, 120 minutes, and I can look at this task and get it done, your productivity just goes on 10x, 20x, and you're focused too. You're not like, oh, let me check my text messages, let me check my Instagram. Like, you are so laser focused on the task and the things that move the needle forward, right? And so, and that was the other thing, that the other myth that and mindset block that I had to overcome was like, okay, I don't need to be working all the time. Like, you can work less and make more money. That was a huge thing that I had to overcome, was like, you can have both, like the working less and making more money, which is what really scale is, right? In the long term of things. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now that you have been doing this for some years now, what's your role in the business? What do you do as far as making sure things are getting done and things like that? How do y'all operate? Just kind of give me a backstory of that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll share that things between when I was a new mom into now, things were not easy. Like, one of the hardest, there were so many hard things. It was kind of, when my son was around, creeping up on 1 year old, like, it felt like I had another dip. Like, I had another very hard moment in entrepreneurship where I was a new mom. I was very tired. Business was losing revenue because I had done a huge niche pivot, and I sacrificed a lot of comfortability I had, because I started making YouTube videos in the make money online niche, because I was doing topics like passive income, side hustles, things like that. And so I decided to pivot completely away from that. And because of that, like, my channel, my analytics started going down. I wasn't getting sponsors like I was before. Just a whole bunch of revenue streams kind of like stopped, right? So it was like, the pressure of supporting my family, feeding my son, being the business owner. I fell into depression, like it was the first time in my life I had depression, and I thought it was all over. Like, it's really sad to say this now, but at one point I'm like, if I'm not here, my husband and my son might be better off, because at least they'll get my life insurance money. You know what I mean? And it's really hurtful to say that and to think that I was thinking that. But all I have to say is that created the new programs that we offer now in subscribers to sales, right? And this is how this program was born. Really, like, people ask, like, how did this happen? I mean, that's the story behind how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a lot of, sometimes it's darkest before the light.
Yeah.
And sometimes life does that, but knowing that it was there at one point in time, what was the turnaround to now where you see yourself bouncing back and heading in another direction? What was that for you?
So a little bit, actually, the turning point was my mindset, but also having my spiritual awakening. Because for pretty much my whole adult life, I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in higher power. I was kind of agnostic. And so when I had my spiritual awakening is when I realized that I had to lean on my inner self, and I had to have a new connection with God, spirit, universe, like however you label it. And because I was able to lean into spirituality, that's how I was able to, like, refocus and just be like, tell myself, like, it's going to be okay. Like, I have an idea. It seems impossible to get to now, but I can relaunch and redefine where we're going, So that was the turning point, was my spiritual awakening, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just know that you have other people on your team, and I do want to say you have a phenomenal team of other individuals who take it just as serious as you do. 'Cause you find sometimes, especially being an employer, that you got people, as long as you're watching, they're doing everything they're supposed to. But to find people just going as hard as you are, even when you're not looking, that's rare. And so I do want to say, from my personal experience working with you and the team, they go in the same as you do. And so I know you set a high standard of leading by example. So tell me a little bit about your chemistry, the culture of your business, and all that.
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. So let's see. One thing that's important to me is that the people on my team that help our clients is that we all have YouTube experience, right? That's one thing where I'm really proud of, is that we're all YouTubers and we create content ourselves, right? And so we have a YouTube coaching team, a graphics team, editing team, and my big thing is that also they're getting fulfillment as well, because for a while I felt like there was other things that were stagnant and opportunities that weren't being created for my team. And so I really one thing that's important to me is having a culture on my team where I understand like the goals of what they would like to have, because when I know that, then they're happy, and then the clients get the best out of my team as well. So yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's good. Like I say, I've actually had previous experience where I'm sitting on Zooms with like multiple people, 4 or 5 individuals that's really hammering out the strategy and helping me to really get the best results. And so that speaks volume of you guys. Y'all do immaculate work. And so with that, what are some of the results or some of the things that you're looking for when you are working with a client? What did you want to? Sometimes it doesn't happen right overnight, but let's say someone who either was kind of new to this space, what's some of the outcomes that you're looking for to accomplish with someone?
Yeah, no, great question. I mean, if they're a brand new content creator, kind of like yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the channels yet, and I admire what you've done because you just got after it. I mean, you just, you started filming and haven't stopped. And that's the only thing I could ever ask from a client, right? Because if you don't film, then there's nothing we can do. Like there's no analytics to look at. There's no way to see if the branding's performing. There's no way for you to get used to your systems, right? And your new team. Because if the client isn't creating the content, like we can't hire because there's nothing to hire for. And so anyway, but I guess it depends on the level that the creator's coming in. Like some, it's like we want to optimize their YouTube strategy so that they're producing more profit from their YouTube organic traffic. Some, it's like we want to reduce their workload because they're working so much by themselves on their channel. So we want to take as much as we can off of their plate so that they're operating peacefully, only filming in a couple hours a week and handing off the rest. That's the important thing. And again, kind of all going back to, my experience with having to take a leave and leave the business. So yeah.
Okay. Now, I
Yeah.
know we kind of want to switch gears because I know some people think that this road sometimes could be easy, but then of course, like you shared with you've had your ups and downs. You've had to pivot on your channel and just kind of let people know, because even right now we at the summit, and that's what my takeaway is, some things that pretty much stepping on my toes because I thought one way, but now being exposed to something different, it's helping me to take a different approach. And so in this space of social media, I know, like I say, things do change all the time in this space, but kind of speak to that person who wants to get involved, or they may even be involved, but just being willing to grow in this space. What does that mean to you and evolving to be wherever that is? Because like I said, you can share as much as you want to, because your channel was at one place at one point in time, then it went a different place. So kind of just gives your story, but help someone else to know the journey.
Yeah. Being a YouTuber, in my opinion, is the hardest type of creator, because you can be so judgmental on yourself, and have the analytics really define you, when really, like, we are not our businesses, we are not our vanity metrics. And but it's much easier said than actually believing in real life. And so it's not a secret. My channel right now is really like kind of dead, and the struggle, that's been a struggle, because my channel used to be booming. It used to be getting 5,000, 7,000 new subscribers a month, where now uh there it's been tough to get 1,000 views on a video, and that's hard for me to show up. I mean, real life, I'm not gonna lie, this is like what I struggle with. But at the end of the day, I go back to what I tell my clients, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if if your videos have 30 views or 30,000. Like, it's helping someone. You're connecting your viewer and exposing them to your value and a product that you have on the back end that can give them a bunch of value and change their life. So it's like I really had to dig into that and know that I'm not defined by my metrics. Like, I know what I can bring, right? And I know that I can deliver what I deliver. I'm the only one that knows how to bring it the way I do. And so that's, I believe, the mentality that everyone has to have, because there will be dips. Like, inevitably there will be dips. There will be just super uncomfortable seasons. And it's really just getting up every day and doing it, whether you're scared or not, whether you're motivated or not. And so some days it could feel really icky inside, but the fact that you have the heart and the courage to do it is what's going to really catapult you, and to your vision, your long-term vision.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, because I know I watched one of your videos and you were speaking of, you had and I commend you for it, because you made a decision of not going with certain type of videos, and by doing that, you could have easily got the easy likes and follows, but you just said, I'm gonna put a standard, I'm gonna make a pivot, I got certain principles, whatever that was. Could you speak to that? Because that right there, sometimes it seems like it may not be growing as fast, but it's definitely building something that's gonna last. So if you can't speak to that also.
Yeah. So historically, my channel used to be a make money online channel, where I had really clickbaity topics, about making money online, side hustles, passive income, work from home, just things for beginners looking to make an easier dollar, and kind of like the beginners, the biz op seekers and stuff. And so that pool, or that niche, is very clickbaity. It'll get you views really quick. And so I was quite addicted to the dopamine of having viral videos in that space. And so um, when my new content, as I started to evolve and shift completely away from that, it sucked when I knew my new content was so fire. It had a great title, thumbnail, and it didn't do well at all, right? And it's just I couldn't, or what's the word? I couldn't go back to putting just a not sloppy, but a title and a thumbnail copy just for the clicks. Like, I was so over that. That is not what I wanted to be known for. You know what I mean? And so, I shifted it to, topics that say what they are. Like, like, instead of like how to make $1,000 a day, it's like, okay, how to create a high ticket sales funnel that'll get you results in 60 days. Cause that's what it is, Sure, a high ticket sales funnel can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can't really put a number on it. And so I had to, as tempting as it was to sometimes go back, I could not go back. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So like I say, that's really going to help somebody who's stepping into whatever, whether if it's not even in this space, maybe something else that you're making a career change. 'Cause even for me, I'm positioning myself to make a pivot, shift in what I do. But like I said, you have to be willing to the process of doing the work and not look at the results right away. Learn from whatever mistake, learn from whatever life is giving you. And I would say make lemonade out of the lemon. Play the hand you got dealt with and play to win. And that's exactly what I've seen from you. From every time we've had an opportunity to talk and to have Zoom calls, whatever, you always showed up with your best. And so I want to commend you, no matter what life sometimes is telling you, because I know we all have those moments when it's in your ear, you get up, and sometimes I even had a time like, man, what am I doing? I'm not a great speaker in this, but I just say, I ain't listening to that. I'm gonna get in front of this camera anyway, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And over time, we all get better with that. So I want to just say I thank you, not just for the fact of you doing by in front of the camera, but just your leadership. And so if you can, let me ask you more in that space about leadership. What does leadership, first of all, mean to you?
I believe it means how you act through adversity, honestly, because to me that defines a leader. Either you can carry a team when you know everything's just going not good and be the leader that everybody's like, what do we do now? And they look to you for the direction, even though you just want to scream and crumble into a ball and not come out of a dark room. You just have to figure it out. And I forget the CEO of Airbnb, like he described it best. He's when we all went into the pandemic, Airbnb just like fell off the map because we couldn't do Airbnb, and he just said it was like being a good leader truly is how you act through adversity and how you continue to navigate the bow of the ship. The bow's the front, right? The bow of the ship. And yeah, I truly believe that, because so many times where I thought like, oh my God, like I'm going to have to let go of people on my team. Like, months of just having pure faith and not knowing like how things will happen. For example, there's been so many months, like during that year when I was really struggling, where I was like paying my team, like I did not take anything. It was like all my money went to my team. That really sucked. That really, really sucked. But I just, I couldn't quit. I saw the vision. Like I saw this new way I was willing to serve. And the other thing too is not being selfish. And I heard this in this summit here. Someone mentioned selfishness. Being selfish is like, I forget what he said, but I bring that up because it would be selfish of me to stop posting videos because I'm not getting as much views as I did before, when people need the value that I have to bring. And same for everyone, right? And it would be, and because of that, just because I'm not getting views like I used to, I'm still helping my clients get incredible results, And if I wasn't doing this, like I wouldn't be able to help people, right? And that would be selfish, you know what I mean? So it's really just standing, digging your feet in the ground and just standing ground when things get hard.
Yes, putting both foot flat and just going at it. Not backing up and still just moving forward. I commend you on that, because and that's one of the things I look for in a leader that I roll with. Because, like I said, I've seen some people who look good from the stage, and that's but they wasn't willing to. They didn't know how to take responsibility, meaning that they were. Sometimes we can blame others for our failures, but a true leader would always own it. And they always will own it. And I can follow somebody, not saying that you have to be at the top of their game at the time when we are together, but I see you fighting. I can fight with you as long as you're fighting too. And that's what I'm looking for in anybody else I connect myself with, is what kind of fight you have. Are you willing to fight, or will you tuck your tail and run? No, let's fight, because life is always going to be easy, but we're going to learn our way through. And so I commend you, and I always still say you're the Beyonce in this space of YouTube, so I'm not going to change. So,
oh, thank you so much.
Yes. So you're phenomenal as what you do. But I do want to ask if someone wanted to learn more about what you're doing in this space, how could they follow up and kind of connect with what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. So by the time you're watching this video, Steven has a link. Okay. There's a link in the description. It'll talk about some of our higher level programs, right? Like the coaching program he's in. it's a hybrid of coaching and done for you implementation. So the best of both worlds. You can find out more about it in the description. We have a couple of levels. Like we have one that's called Subscribers to Sales Fast Track, and then our highest level is called Ascend, Subscribers to Sales Ascend. And so those are the most intimate ways to work with my team and I. But again, so yeah, the information for that will be in the description. But if not, like there's a lot of valuable content on the channel. I have a free blueprint that talks about how to reduce the amount of time you work on your channel and make more. So yeah, several ways.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to ask two more questions. One is because I know a lot of people are not always familiar on what it means to monetize or how do you make income in this space. Even though, like I said, the aim should not always be about how many viewers they have or how many subscribers, but it's about making sure that you have a strategy in order to impact the audience that you have targeted. Could you speak to that first?
Yeah. So the reason why we love YouTube is because there's so many ways to monetize with no extra effort once you get the machine going. So the first thing that I say is affiliate marketing. Anything you use or even you don't use, you can promote in your description. And the links for the affiliate links they're there forever. So if somebody doesn't want to invest in your coaching program or whatever, they can buy an affiliate camera product off of you or a subscription. The first good money I made on YouTube was 90% through affiliate marketing. And then the other great thing is building a list. So organic emails, names and subscribers to your list. It's the greatest email subscribers come from YouTube, hands down, right? So having a lead magnet, building up the list, and brands, sponsorships. So the typical way is people sponsoring a video, but there's other creative ways to do collaborations and stuff with companies. What else is there? Selling your coaching, your services, Google AdSense. So once your channel gets monetized with the YouTube partnership program, then your channel can get half the revenue from the YouTube ads that play on your channel. And so the requirement now is, I think, 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours to qualify for the YouTube partnership program. Yeah. Awesome. So those are just a few of the ways, of course, like there's merch and memberships and so many other things. Yeah.
Well, there's so many other ways we can go with this because it's so many ways to get to the bag.
The bag.
But definitely the first thing is you have to get in the game in order to play the game. And so I encourage you to, if you even considering interested in finding out more about YouTube, even going live and so many different angles you can do this, please do reach out to Marissa because they have so much great information to get you going. But if you can you let someone know maybe something that you even tell yourself? What's something of leaving them with them inspiration, empowerment to keep on pressing forth in wherever life is taking them?
I would have to say focus on self-love, right? Self-love, I think maybe some evaluate that as, like self-love, is that self-care, like manicures, pedicures? No, like self-love is loving yourself, right? That looks like loving yourself and to speak positively to yourself, to literally tell yourself in the mirror that you love yourself, like name, I love you. Like people have a hard time with that. And so self-love also means, investing in yourself, investing in your business, investing in systems and processes and team to support you, because the ultimate thing that you can give to yourself in the business is your time and your freedom back in the long run, right? I think that's what we're all striving for. And so, focusing on self-love, don't be afraid to take much needed time off, stop with the guilt and the shame of not doing or being enough. So that's what I would say is to focus on self-love. It's much harder than, than is it much easier said than done, like on a day-to-day basis, right? So yeah, self-love.
Yes. Thank you so much, Marissa. We appreciate all that you shared right here because what you said was not always just the highlight film. I appreciate because being transparent is what's going to help somebody because we all got life that comes at us. But the key is not giving up, but keep pressing forth no matter what it looks like. And so I thank you for just being here, and I appreciate you being the leader that you are, being there to help me and others to really strive to be their best. So we thank y'all for taking the time to check out this video. Do like, do subscribe. But in the meantime, in between time, be great.